Hello, hockey fans. We're here for a new episode of Five for Talking. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show. I was going to call him the boss of the show. I mean, he's the boss too. Why not? Uh, so we're filming this post Toronto, Florida on Tuesday night. And I don't know if you want to talk about that first or do you want to just flow into that? All right, we
Sure,
might as well
I'll
talk about
talk
the
about it.
game. We're already here. So the Leafs were up 6-2.
No, they were up 5-2,
5-2, 5-2. That's right.
5-1
And
actually.
5-1 at one point. That is correct. And ended up losing in overtime 7-6. It was an entertaining game, like you said. I didn't catch the whole thing. I got enough. I think Auston Matthews did a good job playing some playmaking, which was different. That is what it is. But what's your take on this game?
Very entertaining game. Marner is a magician out there. It's nice. I would have to say that the Marner, Matthews, and Bunting line is probably one of the best lines in the NHL right now. Um, I think a lot of the other guys are starting to elevate their game a little bit more. Tavares is playing better. Engvall, I don't know where the hell he came from, but he's elevated his game. Muzzin just came back tonight, so they took out Labushkin
Muzzin
and they
scored
put
too.
Muzzin scored. They took out Labushkin, they put Muzzin in. Now, initially I thought, okay, well, Labushkin is one of your better guys. I don't know why you're taking him up, but it might be as though he's a little bit banged up. So I'm
They're
still
letting him rest.
curious. Yeah, I'm still curious to see what a fully healthy defensive core looks like for this team. I mean, yes, so to a certain extent, there was a bit of a breakdown or by allowing Florida to come back, but we're talking about Florida here.
Yeah, and
Florida's
they're
done
really
this.
good.
They're really good, and to put up that kind of a fight on a back-to-back with Tampa,
Well,
I
they're
thought that
also coming
was
off a back-to-back.
yeah. I thought they were. I thought it was pretty impressive.
Yes, and they played very well against Tampa. I did see the
Yeah,
almost that whole game.
it looked as though Vasilevsky had an off night, but I mean,
I think they just pounded him.
I think they did. I think they just pounded him. Um, I yeah, I mean, there's a certain optimism with this team, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I mean, there's still about 12 games to go, and you got Marner and Matthews having a career year, and this is going to be a cool thing to see what they can do in the playoffs, whomever they face, because at this point, it can be any one of the three in Tampa, Florida, or Boston. And it's going to be tough, man. Like, you're going into the playoffs facing one of those three teams. That's going to be tough. And
Well,
it's not fair the way this playoff structure is. In terms of the structure of this playoffs, it's just weird, but it's going to be tough for them.
I currently the Leafs are in the best possible position right now, where Tampa Bay has been removed from their playoff section. They're part of the bracket. So it's Florida versus Boston and the Leafs versus Florida versus Washington and the Leafs versus Boston, which is probably the most ideal situation for the Leafs to end up with that specific bracket. But I mean, also we just generally struggle with Boston. I kind of would prefer Tampa, but I'd like to keep Washington in there and not one of the other two.
I would prefer Tampa because it looks like they're kind of struggling a little bit. Selfishly, I want Boston because I want to kick their fucking ass. Okay,
woohoo!
And it's gonna happen. I don't give a crap what anybody says. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, if it's gonna happen in a year, it would be this year. I think.
And I'm sorry to all the Boston fans out there, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't care after all the punishment that the Leafs have gone through facing Boston. I think it's about time that it went the other way. I think the Leafs could beat Washington. I think they could beat Boston. I think they could beat Tampa. Florida is going to be the issue in that situation.
Yeah.
Um,
Washington, really they really look like they're struggling. And like if they go on another bad losing streak and the Isles play as well as they are right now,
Oh man, they're
there's
really
a
good.
chance. There's a chance.
What is going on with the Islanders?
But
Um,
yeah,
yeah, the
I want to throw
Islanders.
that out there.
The Islanders made a huge comeback from where they were in the standings.
And they got games in hand too.
They do. They have 14 games left, and they need 11 points to make the playoffs. So if they win like 10 of those 14, I mean, they got a shot for sure.
Yeah.
Wait, let's see. How much does Washington only has one game less though? But yeah, either way, there's about 13 games left in the season for most of the teams, 12, 13. The Leafs have been playing well. I'm not going to dog them for this win. It was a back-to-back against the best team in the NHL. You beat Tampa Bay. The first game, this is what we've been complaining about all year. Win the first game. And they did it. So good on them. They did really well last night. They played very well.
Yeah, I'll give them the fatigue factor. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
they got 3 out of 4. They got a 3 out of 4 points.
Yeah, listen, you don't even have to give me the fatigue factor. They faced Florida. Like
Yeah.
I'm willing to be accepting in that. They moved into second in their conf or their division, which is nice. Personally, I just want to give a huge shout out to Auston Matthews. Like the kid is crazy. The kid is crazy.
Marner's killing it right now too.
Yes, Marner is on fire. I'm going to give him so much credit for that. But Matthews is like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats, and I think since January, Marner's got the most points out of anybody in the league.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's since January, but I know what you're talking about. There was a certain amount of game span where he is number one right now, which is crazy. But listen, Matthews has 54 goals. He's got a legit shot at 60, which would break all the Leaf records.
He's got a legit shot at 100 points. He's at 90.
Yep.
93, I think.
Oh, I could tell you right now.
He got 3 points tonight, man.
He has 95 with the 3
95.
points from tonight.
Marner got 4 points tonight. So he's at 90. What, 92?
He's at 87, Marner.
So he got 4 points.
So he got 4 points? So Marner's at 8.
91?
88. Sorry, my phone kept turning.
Okay. All right. So he's at 92.
Who? No, he's at 88 with the 4 points.
Is he?
Yeah. 88. Matthews at 95. Matthews is going to get 100 points. I think it's more likely he's going to get 100 points than 60 goals, which I still think he's going to get 60 goals.
No, you're
right. Fantastic. All around. I think as a team, they've played so well, which is something we don't really say a lot. I know how you feel about that situation. I think Campbell is just good. We gave him a lot of flack for losing, but between the three of us, we knew he was going to be okay.
Listen, I'm going to say it again, okay? And for all those Leaf fans out there that said they need to get another goalie, blah, 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 you need defense. You need defense to clear those lanes, to make sure that your goalie has a good look at the shots. And believe me, with the caliber of Campbell being in net, he's going to make those saves, but he's got to be able to see the puck. You got to move those people out of the way. Like most of the damn goals were tip-ins and, just the fact that they were just blocking Campbell's view. Like you got to allow your goalie to see the shot. And believe me, with Campbell, even Mrazek, they're going to be able to see the puck. They're going to have a good chance of making the save. Like that's with any goalie in the league.
I 100%.
Goalie change.
What
do you expect was going to happen? They only had so much money
at the deadline. I wasn't when I wanted goalie change, because I know you're not saying me, but when I wanted goalie change, I wanted to get a solid backup. And I'm sorry, but Shalgren is not that guy. He's good, but he's not ready to be that guy. And Mrazek has proven that he's floppy. Mrazek
Yeah.
can either have an amazing game or the worst game you've ever seen. So you don't know what you're getting there. Campbell is great. Tavares and Nylander are both like point a game players this season.
Yep.
Riley's going to get 60 points. I mean, realistically, if you look at the way this team is, if Mikheyev keeps scoring, they're going to have 6 20-plus goal guys. If Bunting keeps scoring, they're going to have 5 25 goal guys. That's crazy.
Yeah, Campo's like when we were looking at the trade deadline, it's like, what do? You're only allowed a certain amount of moves to make because of the fact that you
Oh, yeah.
are so up against the cap.
But they did
So what
the
do you
right
do?
move.
You
I
did the
think
right move.
Giordano was a smart move because not
Yeah.
only did they need a solid defensive defenseman, he can take the shot, and he's a good leader. He's a real captain. And
Yeah.
having him there with those guys makes a difference.
So going into the playoffs, everybody's healthy. Who do you take out?
Liljegren.
Okay.
I think you go Riley Lyubushkin, you go Muzzin, Sandin, and you go Giordano and Brody. I don't know how you move them throughout the lineup, but you do.
You don't put in Muzzin?
Yeah, I said Muzzin, Sandin.
No, you said Brody Sandin.
Oh, sorry. Muzzin, Sandin, Brody, Giordano. I want Brody and Giordano together. That's my ideal situation.
So take out Liljegren and take out Hall.
Yeah. Oh, Hall's playing. I mean, okay, listen, Sandin and Hall.
See, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. But I it's not a really good problem to have when between Liljegren and Sandin, you're gonna have a good game or a bad game, you don't really know, and then you have Hall who basically is just there. And I to me the weakest link is Hall. I'd rather have Liljegren in than Hall. And I don't know. I don't think Hall is a capable player. I don't think he's an NHL player.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I might piss off some Leaf fans here, but I don't. Whatever. If I'm going into the playoffs, I'm keeping Liljegren in. I'm not playing Sandin. I'm playing Hall.
Okay, that's fair. I would take that.
And the only reason why I'm not playing Sandin is because he's small. Sorry.
Liljegren has played well in the last.
Yeah,
little bit.
I mean, he's a very capable defenseman, but it's like I'm flipping flopping with Sandin and
Liljegren. As long as you didn't say Hall, you don't upset me. I thought you were going to say Hall, and I was about to get upset.
I don't think Hall goes in there, man. I really don't think Hall goes in there. I think Giordano and Liljegren are playing great. I think Muzzin and Brody should be the other pairing, and I think Lyubushkin and Riley should be the first pairing.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that. I'm very comfortable with whoever plays with Giordano. I'm going to be honest with you. I shouldn't be this comfortable in the small sample size we have, but I just feel okay. Is that weird to say that? Like, he just makes me feel like it's going to be okay when he's on the ice.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, it's rubbing off a Liljegren. I mean, he's played a lot better since Giordano arrived.
Well, they needed a real leader on the defensive end because I'm sorry, Morgan Riley is not that guy, even with all his experience.
He needs help. Yeah,
but he's not that guy.
Yeah.
He's the look what he's doing. I think he's playing great this year, and I don't like Riley. And,
yeah, no, I know. I mean,
and
Brody's playing all right, but they need help. And let's, shout out to Lyubushkin. I mean, everybody's like, should have bought another defenseman. They did bring another defenseman. There's Lyubushkin.
and he's played very well.
He's played very well. Yeah,
he deserves a lot of credit. A lot of credit.
You got Muzzin coming back. You got Lyubushkin, and you got that core. They're going to be physical. They need to be physical in the playoffs. They need to, hit some guys. I saw some hitting tonight, which was pretty cool. It's going to be a very interesting playoff, man. It's going to be a very interesting playoff. See what happens.
I agree. So, I mean, do you have anything else Leafs related?
I got to give kudos to Bunting too. Good on him, man.
Yeah, he's played very well.
He's worked his way to that spot on the first line. And kudos to him. And and he signed for another year. You know what I mean? With
Listen,
$900,000.
I often give the Leafs a lot of flack for setting themselves up since we've had Dubas. They set themselves up for really small windows. They have the main guys for long periods, but then the help that they get is for very small windows of time. And this window that we're in right now, which is probably this year and next year, does look promising. It does look promising. I'm not going to call Cup, but I like what I see. I like what I see.
You can't. Yeah, you can't call Cup, man.
You know what?
You know what the thing is? You know what the thing is? There's just way too many good teams.
Yeah, and I'm not going to even try to be selfish in this scenario. I would really love to see this version of Colorado or Florida win a cup. I would love to see a replay of the 1995 or 1996 finals, Florida versus Colorado. I would love to see that.
Yes. Yeah,
when Colorado won the first time, it was against Florida.
I thought that was Jersey.
No, it was Florida.
Okay. All right.
Hey, look it up. Do a little look up.
We'll look it up. Bro.
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
John Van Beesbrook was the goaltender. Okay. Scott Mellenby was the captain. So moving on here, let's give it a second here to talk about just something unexpectedly great. I mean, I guess it's not unexpected because we expect him to be great, but like, my God, Alexander Ovechkin. He has 42 goals and 79 points in 67 games in this NHL, and he's 36 years old. That's crazy. He could hit 50 goals. Like, we went through all the numbers, and I was the skeptic that was like, he's not going to hit Gretzky's record. He's going to hit 50 goals this year. He has a good shot at it. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me.
I mean, you said it pretty much. You said everything, man. He's 46 goals?
42.
Oh, 42.
Yeah, with 15 games left they have.
It's he could do it, man. He could do it. I think after this, he's
they have 13 games left.
He's got 130 goals. 130 goals to go, I think. But we can look that up afterwards.
Yeah, that's
he passed Yager already.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He passed Yager already, so he must be in the 770 area. But he's 36 years old. He's got at least 4 years to play because he's such in great condition. Takes care of himself. I don't know how, because the way he plays, he should have retired already because he's so physical.
He reminds me a lot of like a LeBron James, where they put so much money and effort in their offseason into training to making sure that they're going to be physically fit, because he is like a rock. He reminds me of Yager.
The only difference is Ovechkin doesn't get injured a lot.
That's true.
But with Ovechkin, it's so funny. I saw, like, they were showing it the other day on television, that he scores from the same place the majority of the time, and you would think that teams would figure it out by now. but
the problem is
the same spot.
It's a 95 to 100 mile an hour slap shot from so close to the net, and it's so accurate that it's hard. You're not going to save that like 50% of the time. He's got like a 50% chance to score every time he shoots.
I know. It's just a matter of like parking a defenseman.
I agree, but then you have to think that guy's going to take the shot off himself, and he's going to get hurt. But yeah, I agree with you. But that's the thing. Stamkos does the same thing. Stamkos parks himself in the same spot. I want Matthews to do that.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
I know. He does it on a power play all the time. Once he started to do it and lock himself in there, he did much better. Huge.
But teams were figuring it out, and the fact that they were figuring it out, I was surprised that they wouldn't be able to figure it out for Ovechkin. Like, not necessarily blocking the shot, but putting themselves in a position where that person setting up Ovechkin cannot make the pass to him. That's the part that I was trying to.
Also, under the radar performance, I want to say, because they are playing fantastic as a team. And he came into the season, he missed a nice chunk early on being injured. Crosby has 72 points in 58 games. And he has had a few games this year where he looked like McDavid at 34 years old. So like his abilities are still crazy. Like you can never write off Sidney Crosby. And Malkin has been amazing since he came back too.
I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about before, that whole Eastern Conference. There's so many good teams. You got Pittsburgh. Yeah. The Rangers are friggin' like very consistent.
No, the Rangers are great this year.
You got Carolina. I mean, like they're all doing it. And it's such a huge margin between the teams that are currently in the playoffs and the teams that are out of the playoffs.
It's 11.
With the exception of the New York Islanders.
In terms of team caliber, there's a huge gap.
There's a huge gap, man.
Yeah.
Any one of those teams.
The Islanders should not be where they are, given the team that they have. They should not be that far out. I'm not saying they should be in the playoffs because the playoff teams right now in the East are all good. Every single one of those teams is good.
Even those mid to lower teams that are in the playoffs are so good that if at any point they catch fire,
listen,
they can put away any of those top teams, man.
The entire East is deadly. Superior. There is not one bad team in the playoffs right now for the East. In the West, you have like Colorado, Minnesota, Vegas, and then I don't know if I really think anyone else is that good. Calgary has proven they're human. They have completely fell off since that hot streak. The players are still playing well, but the team is like they're not playing very well. Nashville is up and down. Edmonton is who knows what's gonna happen. LA's in there. Like St. Louis is like another team that you don't know really what they're gonna do. To me, there's only really 3 good teams in the West, and Vegas is not a good team realistically unless they get everybody back on the ice.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the two conferences. I mean, in the Western Conference, is still the playoffs. The playoff teams have not been solidified just yet. You still have up until game 82 to solidify.
And it will go down to that.
Yeah, it will. I mean, the only teams right now that you could say that have made the playoffs is Colorado and I dare to say Calgary, because
you have Dallas, Winnipeg, and Vancouver all have a shot of getting in the playoffs still.
Yeah.
Especially Dallas. Dallas has been in, out over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Vegas really disappointed me.
But they're very unhealthy.
They are very unhealthy. Edmonton has caught some fire as of late. So they're playing well. However, we know that they're not going to be. In my opinion, they are not going to go very far in the playoffs. I'm sorry. They needed a goalie. They didn't get the goalie, and
I think in terms of getting into the playoffs right now, I think the best scenario for the West is either if Vegas is going to stay injured, either them or Nashville dropping out and Dallas getting in, because I really do think Dallas, as weird of a season as they've had the last 2 years, they're a team on their roster. They can do damage. So, I mean, I just want to see the best possible playoffs. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah. Shout out to Roman Josi. 81 points, man, for a defenseman.
He's a
Good
beast.
For him, man.
He's an absolute beast. I think I've picked him in my pool every single year.
Yeah, he's having a career year.
Now, Patrick Kane is playing amazing this year. Stamkos, it's like the year of comebacks. Yep. It's great to see it. Panarin is always under the radar. He's doing great. Goudreau's going to have a contract year. He has 95 points. Kaprizov is proving that he was worth holding out for. Like, we all had reservations of him holding out for that money in Minnesota, and he's proven this year that he's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Shout out to JT Miller. Still producing.
Shout out to Connor McDavid, 105 points in 69 games.
Well, Huberdeau just got 100 points tonight.
Yeah, Huberdeau is amazing. Florida is super underrated. Their entire roster is just underrated.
Yeah.
Chris Kreider has 46 goals. Chris Kreider.
For Chris Kreider, that's all he's got. because he's got no assists.
That's true. He only has 65 total points, but
That's funny.
I think the most goals, hold on, I'll pop it open. The most goals he's ever had before is 28. I mean, he's a perennial 20 goal guy, but 28 is his most. He has 46. Like, good for you, man. The New York is clicking, man. They are absolutely clicking. And it's without Lafreniere or Capo Caco. 2 top 3 picks. One was a number 1 overall pick. So I believe Caco is injured right now, but Lafreniere has like 30 something points in the 60 games. Whatever. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
I do.
Go ahead.
I mean, you got fans out there that were like down south that wanted more scoring. You got potentially 6 players that are going to get 50 goals this year, and possibly one getting 60. That's pretty cool. And the other point I want to make at the end of the season, Ryan Getzlaf is retiring. So great career. He's got a Stanley Cup champion.
One of the better centers and probably one of the best leaders of this specific generation of hockey post 2000s.
I mean, things are looking up for that team, man. They're going to be great for years to come. And the fact that Ryan Getzlaf was there showing these guys the ropes and all that stuff, it's just going to pay dividends for these young guys going forward.
I mean, I was really hoping he was going to stick around. Well, he did get his 1,000 points. That's really nice to see. I'm very happy that happened. But I would have liked to see him stick around and get his 300 goals. But he had a career, man. It was time to go. And a lot of the hardest part about being in a sport is knowing when to say it's over, right? And he's a legit legend. Yeah, and he's going to go down in Anaheim Ducks history as probably their best player, barring Timo Solani. So, I mean, that's really nice to see. I mean, was Paul Kariya amazing? Yes, but did he do it there?
His career was cut short. I mean, he was all that stuff, but he was potentially going to be one of the best players in the league.
He probably would have went down. He ended his career even with all the injuries as a point per game guy. I believe he had 949 points in 949 games or something like that. And he had a lot of injuries. He missed so much time. He got cut down on his prime. I know you don't like him, but between him and Lindros, we could have seen 2 of the greatest Canadian players right there. And we missed out on that, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, that's hockey.
Yeah. One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike Bossy. I mean, the guy's he's going to be fighting for his life. I hope.
We want to wish him all the best.
Yeah.
And the family. Yeah, definitely, for sure. One of my favorite players of all time. In my opinion, the greatest goal scorer who ever played hockey. And, we hope that he pulls through for that.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Just let us know who your favorite team is in the comments, and we'll see you next time.